everyone and welcome. You're watching Chai with Chaitanya. This is the place where I talk about books, movies and fandom, and today I'm doing a little bit of a different kind of a video because I have recorded lots of reviews, I've done lots of recommendations. So today I'm here to talk about my current reads because I've realized that this month I've been reading books so incredibly slow that it's humanly not possible to record enough reviews to put it out. So I thought, why not just do my current reads video to tell you about all the amazing books that I'm reading and give you a little bit of life update at this point of time. So I'm going to be talking about all the 6 books that I have here with me, and let's go and talk about all of them without spoilers. So if you have not subscribed, please consider doing that because it helps my channel grow. If you've done that already, thank you for being here and let's go. The first book that I have here with me is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. If you live under a rock, which I hope you don't, then you haven't read this book, and if you haven't even heard of this book, then let me tell you what you should know and why you should be going out right now, getting this book and reading it. So it is about the son of the President of the United States of America falling in love with the Prince of England, and it is a royal romance, of course, and it has PR scandals and controversies and lots of mushy emails sent between these two people. It has fake dating trope, enemies to lovers trope, and a bunch of other tropes as well. And I know for a lot of people that rom-coms don't always necessarily work, but I would still ask you to go and pick this up because it's so good. And this was my 2020 favorite as well as my all-time favorite, and now that I'm rereading it and also hosting a royal read-along where around 50-55 people have joined in, where we are reading this book all together till the 25th of September. All the details for this would be on my Instagram, which I'll link down in the description box below, so be sure to check it out. And if you want, you can of course join us and read this with us and discuss the book with us. Second book that I'm reading is a book that I thought I would have read a couple of months ago because I read the first 2 books in this trilogy long time ago, but I just couldn't bring myself to start with the final book, and that is of course the Devabad trilogy's book 3, which is the Empire of Gold, the finale of the Devabad trilogy. And if you have been following me here or on my Bookstagram or blog, then you would know that I loved this trilogy so much, and this probably became one of my favorite fantasy of all times. And I've read a lot of fantasy and I've been waiting to find that one fantasy that really spoke to me, and this one did. And since then I've realized that I have a thing for sand-based fantasies in general, and I love Middle Eastern fantasies as a setting. I love the representation of Islam in fantasy and just the whole lore and mythology around it. At around 120 pages, and I am so shook because it's going really well. It's building up the plot in such a minutely detailed way, and that is what I really love about this trilogy in general. S.A. Chakraborty is a known person to perfect every single thing. Even the romance in here is arguably done to an extent where you just wouldn't know who this person that you're shipping with would they end up together or not, and that is, I think, the best thing about it. Like, I have been shipping one couple that I cannot say here for the sake of spoilers. I've been shipping this particular couple for so long, but I am still not sure whether it will actually come to pass or not, even though I have seen a couple of fan arts which probably give me the hints that they are going to end up together. But I like the idea that I am still not 100% sure on that, and that S.A. Chakraborty is completely playing with my mind and my heart and just everything, and I love it. In case you don't know about this book or this trilogy, then be sure to check out the review for book number 1, a non-spoiler review of course that I did, which will be linked right up here as well as down in the description box below. And I would strongly urge you to check it out if you are somebody who loves fantasy, because this is best described as, think of Game of Thrones but set in the Middle East, and that's it. If you have seen one of the videos that I posted very early on my YouTube channel, that is 21 books that I wanted to read in 2021, then you would know that this book, Well Met by Jen DeLuca, was on it. And I had bought this book a long time ago. I just hadn't been able to pick it up until now, which is quite imaginable because I read so many books like most of you all. So I finally had the chance to pick it up because I said that, hey, it's time. If I don't read it now, probably I would never pick it up. So I went into this. The thing that I knew about this was that it's set in a small town and has a Renaissance festival in it, and I think that's all that I would also want to let you know. It's of course a rom-com. It has enemies to lovers, it has lots of Shakespeare, theater, drama, and also a small family element to it, which is a sister moving to her elder sister's place to look after her after she broke her leg and needs assistance with her daughter's schoolwork and everything. And this woman comes in and she takes off responsibility of that, and then she somehow ends up also participating in the Renaissance fair that happens at her niece's school. And that's just how the setting of the book is. And one of the things that I love about this book is that how interesting it is. I never thought that I would end up liking a book like this, because I have basically got zero clue about what exactly Renaissance Festival is. So I went online, I checked what exactly the concept is and how it looks like, where all it is done. And after I did that, I realized that probably even I would also love to be a part of some festival like this. I wished it happened in India as well, but sadly it doesn't. What I can do is to actually just read this book and enjoy it. Next up, I have a book that I received as a present from my best friend Wesh, and that is TJ Klune's The Extraordinaries. This is one of those books that I wanted to read ever since I got to know what it is about. Here we get to meet a character, Nick, who's basically obsessed with superheroes, and in specific one superhero, Shadow Star. And in his world, actually these superheroes are real, and he is a fan fiction writer where he puts Shadow Star in a position where he is in a relationship with him. And it's just a story that talks about superheroes and the need for being extraordinary, but you don't really have to be extraordinary in order to be a superhero. That you can be ordinary and do great things, like in your real world, to be extraordinary and all of those things. I'm only about 20 or 30 pages, just started reading this book, and I am absolutely enjoying myself so much. The first opening chapter is actually looks like straight off a fan fiction website, and because I've been someone who's read a lot of Harry Potter fan fiction, I know how it looks like and feels like, and I am amazed to see that it looks exactly like that. Nick as a character is so fun to follow, and he lives with his dad, who is basically in the police department at the United States of America, so I'm really looking forward to see where it goes. Next up, I have a book which was not really recommended to me by anyone, but I kind of just stumbled upon it and thought that I should really check it out because I liked what I read in the blurb. So it is My Name is Leon by Keith Day Wall. This is not really a rom-com, it's not a fantasy book, and it's actually a literary fiction or a general fiction, and it's about these two brothers, a 9-year-old and a newborn baby, who have a very special relationship, but their mother is kind of in depression and she is unable to take care of her children, so the children are sent off to, I think, to a neighbor or to some person to take care of until I think something happens to the mother and she can never return. And that is when the younger child is kind of put into adoption, or maybe is put into foster care, and the two brothers are separated, and it's now on the elder brother's responsibility to kind of unite with his family, that is his younger brother, because he really loves him and he's his half brother. So it's a book about brotherhood, it's a book about family, it's a book that is probably best described as very tender, heartbreakingly beautiful, and just all those things which hit you in your gut. And I am very, very excited to be reading this, because brotherhood is something that I always love to explore in books, considering the fact that it's one of those things that I feel isn't explored a lot in books. About 50 pages, and so far I really like what I'm reading. The voice of the 9-year-old Leon that's been given is extremely honest, raw, and sensitive, and I like how the story is moving forward. It's very well nuanced, it's quite fast paced at the same time as well, but it doesn't really, jumps in a way where you would feel that the pacing is off. So I'm keen to see where it goes. I can already sense that there will be lots of moments coming in the book where I'll probably just lose it and probably just throw away this book because it's so sad. But I'm really hoping to finish it because it's not really a long read, only about 285 pages, less than 300 pages, I think. Yeah, less than 300 pages. So very excited to be reading this. If you've read this, then do let me know what your thoughts are. I have the last book which I started reading just today morning, and that is Love, Chai and Other Four-Letter Words by Anika Sharma, and this was a copy that was sent in by the publisher, by Sourcebook, so I thank them for my copy. We basically follow Kiran, who is an Indian woman living in the United States of America in New York, and she wants to really make her parents proud, and a part of that also includes the fact that she has to marry someone who is approved by their parents. And considering the fact that her eldest sister married someone of of her choice, and it didn't really end well. Ended up creating differences in the family. What differences, what exactly happened isn't told to us, but we just know that something happened, and that puts a lot of pressure on Kiran to be sure that she marries someone of their parents' choice, or at least somebody who her parents approve of. And while all of this is on, she gets to meet this very adoringly charming, very perfect kind of a man called Nash, who's of course an American and a white guy. To see how this book would proceed and what all Anika has included in this, and considering the fact that it has an Indian representation and is written by an Indian American, I have got really high expectations. So let's see how it stands on them. That was it. Those were all the amazing books that I am currently reading at this point of time. If you have read any one of them, or if you plan to read any one of them, then do let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to know your thoughts and chat about this book with you. And until then, I hope you're doing safe and doing good, and I will be seeing you super soon. Bye.